Hey, this is the Fit Gear Hunter here at CrossFit Homeward in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. It's my home box. And up for review is the initial comparison of the Apple Watch 6 compared to the Samsung Galaxy Watch 3. These both are hot off the market, and so there's been a lot of discussion and talk about what are the differences, how do they function when it comes to exercise, and we're going to get into all that with an in-depth review of the heart rate, the optical heart rate sensor, to see how good each of them are in standalone. But the main thing, this whole site is dedicated to testing devices for the purpose of CrossFit and high-intensity interval training specifically. So we're going to be looking at the functional aspects of each of these watches over the next week before the full review comes out to see which of them technically functions better for actual CrossFit or high-intensity interval training, not looking at necessarily just all the smartwatch features or all the capabilities they have as like a miniature computer on your wrist. So we're going to look at just a side-by-side hands-on right now, and then to come back for just a brief summary, and then in about a week we'll finish up the optical heart rate analysis, as well as just a general review and comparison. As always, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, and please consider subscribing for more. There's a number of new video review releases coming up. Okay, so looking at these two side-by-side hands-on, you can see just the overall design differences. Going to get into the full specs when we get into the full review, but just looking at the overall shape, and obviously the Samsung Galaxy Watch 3 is considerably wider and slightly thicker, although not so much so that it's significant. But the thing that I feel in using this right off the bat is that this feels like a watch, and this feels like a toy or something, like it definitely feels like a computer on my wrist when I'm actually using it, but I just am not a fan so far of the shape and design. It just feels rinky-dink. It definitely has a solid weight and a solid build quality, but it just feels so small and minimal, and maybe it's because I've been wearing larger devices more recently in all the testing that's been going on, but at the same time it just feels tiny. It feels like a condensed screen, and obviously it's a beautiful screen. The colors are high quality, but it overall just feels a little bit rinky-dink or small, or like I'm just wearing a miniature watch. And I definitely have a hard time as I look at it, and just in the day-to-day uses, I just feel like, oh my God, I'm going to scratch or break one of the corners of this. Just don't like the overall build, as well as the, so if you look at the Samsung, and we'll just get into a little bit of it here, it's got this, rotating bezel, which functionally operates to transition between widgets, but it also operates as a large protector ring. So it'll obviously protect against bangs and scuffs. It keeps it as a very large lip between it and the screen. So it's just built more like a tank with a more solid build quality. With the Samsung, when you rotate, you go through widgets. So you rotate through widgets like the health app, sleep records, workouts, weather. You can change and functionally shift any of these widgets that you want to. So there's SpO2, stress level, so we'll get into a little bit more detail in the full review, but functionally that's how it works when you access just the primary sets of information. Then you can push this bottom button and you can access all of the different apps, and you can download a bunch of different apps from the Galaxy Watch store. So again, to the right, you can have your basic quick view widgets of information. The bottom button gives you the apps, and then you rotate to the left and you have notifications. The notifications are working great. Everything is visually very pretty. Obviously everything on this watch is visually very pretty. It feels functionally, has a good weight to it, but I just love that you can and you can swipe left and right. Everything is functionally fast and smooth. You can swipe left and right for those types of things as well, but I just like that you can quickly get into any of the details you may want to. So then we have the Apple Watch 6. You have these data pieces all throughout. Forget the technical word for what the data pieces are, but you have the data pieces throughout the watch face, and when you swipe left and right, you can change your watch face, which I think is, it's kind of neat. So you can change your watch face, so that is all that swiping left or right really does. And there's a lot of really interesting watch faces to choose from, but the data pieces are all you can get, and you can change which ones you're visible, but you're always going to be limited. Now they pack a lot in there, so here you can see there's 4 on the edges and 4 around the middle, so there's a lot of information on the screen, but at the same time, what you don't get is you don't get widgets. So you swipe left and right, that just changes the watch face. Swipe up, it just goes to quick setting. Swipe down, it just goes to your notifications. So you don't really get a quick view. And then when you click this button, you get all of the apps. And so it's like you either have this basic watch face of little data pieces you could access that you have to choose, or you have a million different apps to choose from in a microscopic setting. And you can zoom, nope, it's not what I meant to do, but you can zoom in and see each of these, and they all work really well. Like, look at that. I mean, that's the, the My Radar app. It looks like it does on my phone, just in a much smaller version, and you can, adjust the details. So really neat there, but I just wish there was widgets I don't like. I mean, I constantly can't stand so far coming straight to this page and seeing like 8,000 little microscopic applications. So what is it like when you actually go to use the watch? So for me, I just basically have not been using any specialty apps. So I go here to the more, I go to circuit training, and then I start the workout. Except for I hit the right button this time. So circuit training, and then you just go right into it. It just starts it automatically, and then you basically get a simple summary of stats on the screen. You can rotate between zones, and so far, it actually hasn't been functioning terribly on the optical heart rate sensor. I think it's been coming in between 70 and 80% accurate. But the biggest thing about either of these is there's not training development analytics. So it's not going to tell you the exertion level, the difficulty of the workout. So you just see super simple things. Now, I'm not somebody that needs a lot of data on the screen, but this is about as rudimentary as it gets until I got to the Apple Watch. So then you click that, you can finish the workout, and I wish there was a way to quickly delete it. Oh, this is what you see in the workout. Well, let's go to a workout itself. So here we're back. Go to the Actually, we'll do this. We'll go to the Samsung Health, which has your logbook in it. And so what does it look like after your workout? So this is the workout from earlier today or this morning. Oh, that's 35 seconds. That's not it. But pretty graph. It actually captured the top. This was 5 rounds in the end, or a 5-round EMOM, so it captured the more intense periods. So I'm going to have to do the analysis. So what I'm doing over the next couple weeks is running a full technical analysis on how the optical heart rate sensors keep up with a CrossFit workout. But that's the basic information you get after a workout. And you don't really get anything analytical. You just get the summary of your total time per week. So you can see your fit here. You can see just your workout log in your total time this week. So nothing really special, and maybe there's apps that actually do that, but that's what it looks like in the workout and after the workout for the data. So what does it look like on the Apple? So obviously all I do is I'm not testing any third-party software right now other than for some of the heart rate analytics, but you just go in and this is how it looks after a workout. This is that same workout. I don't get any heart rate specifics, and I'm sure that you can go into different aspects of different apps to get the heart rate specifics, but I don't want to. I want to be able to see, okay, well, this is what I'm going to get after I get done with the workout. And you can say done. When you actually go in to start a workout, it does the same thing where it just sort of counts down like the Samsung, and then this is all you get. I think this is uglier than the Samsung even, but to each his own. You can change your music, but this is it. You don't have data pages, you don't have anything, you just have this, and then you go here and you end it, and then it's over. So that's what you get. And again, you don't get any functional details with how it is affecting your training or how it's working overall with the intensity level you're keeping at a certain pace for a certain amount of time. So that's each of the differences between these two. So we're going to continue to I'm going to continue to do a full review in how they function and feel. Definitely loving the usefulness of the Samsung Galaxy Watch 3, the design of the Samsung Galaxy Watch 3. I actually like the watch faces, that they're actually just a watch face with maybe some basic customization. But as far as the Apple Watch 6, I just think it feels rinky-dink, it's small, it feels like its glass is going to break, and it functionally, I don't like how they set up the overall platform. So let's come back together for a summary, and then we'll do the full review in a week or so. Okay, so I'm just going to go through really quickly how the apps look. And you'll see very quickly that there are a lot of apps involved with each of these watches. So here's the landing page for the Samsung Galaxy Watch settings application. You can see we're not going to go into all the details because this is just an initial review.
So this, you set up all the different aspects on the watch, and then you would go to the Samsung Health app for being able to see, daily activity as well as workouts. Actually, this is the landing page, and you can see a culmination of all the different things you may have entered, whether it's, water logging or stress off the watch. When you look at the Apple Watch, there are, even more. So here's the Apple Watch setup page. This is where you go to set up everything and the complications. The word I kept thinking of or couldn't think of with the data fields on the watch face is called complications. The number of complications is sort of like where you access or at least can view widget information. So there's the watch setup, and then you would go into like the Apple Health to be able to see a summary of daily details. And then you would go to the activity ring or the activity page to see a summary of workouts. So you have 2 for the Samsung Galaxy Watch 3, and then you have 3 for the Apple experience. And then beyond that, you actually need more than what the Apple is going to give you. So let's walk through that. So if you look at first the Samsung, how does it break down a workout? So we're not going to look at all the ins and outs, but I'm just going to show you kind of how it looks for a workout itself. So you have a couple pages. In the very top left corner, you can see the activity, the little man running. You can access that, and that'll show you a summary of the day. And at the bottom of the day, you can see the workouts. So you click on the bottom workout. This is from the workout this morning. And it included an 8-minute EMOM of a 3-position snatch, followed by two 2-rep sets of front squats, followed by a 15-minute EMOM. So you can see it picked up the heart rate relatively well, but the zones, and it's ironic because the zones on the watch are relative to all other industry standards, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So intensity zones relative to max heart rate. But the zones here are different. So this is what it looks like when you get done with the workout and you see the summary of information. The heart rate actually tracked relatively well. So you can see the heart rate there. And then if you look at it on the chest strap that I linked it to, this is what the actual heart rate looked like and the amount of time in the zones. The average heart rate in the top right corner of the red is 127. And then on the Samsung, it came in the bottom middle left as 131. So it is tracking relatively well. A full analysis with lots of details is coming in the future reviews. So this is how it looks when you access the information from the Samsung Health app to be able to see, how your workout looks. Now, when you go into the Apple, here's the Apple Health. You can see the activity and the health data and the exercise minutes and a summary of things. But to get to the details of the screen, you would go into the Apple app or the activity app, and you'd be able to access this high intensity interval training. And this is what it looks like. So you have 2 different screens for the heart rate during the workout. But to me, that's not helpful. Again, the Apple just continues to give simplified information. So you actually are required, in my opinion, if you're tracking workouts and you want specificity, you're required to use a third party. So here's how it looks, in looking at a workout on the Activity Ring app. But I have found that you have to have this third party to be able, this is Health Fit, all one word, and it will take the heart rate from the Apple and from the Apple Watch, and it'll give you specifics with how it looks. And the heart rate tracks incredibly accurately so far. And again, the full review is coming, but you can see the average heart rate in the middle here, 127. That's exactly the same average heart rate from the workout itself. And the reason I got this is because I needed to see the time in the zones. We want to test the optical heart rate to see if it picks up the higher intensity zones and how much time, how many minutes are accrued. So you can see that, in the over 158, the top 5 zone, 8 minutes, and the mid-level, second level zone was 8 minutes. And so you can see the same on the bottom here, about 8 minutes in the top zone, 8 minutes in the second, level 4 zone. So it's tracking very accurately, but you can see that you have to look a lot of places. So this is the 4th app you have to be able to assess the depth of the workout. So again, back to the Apple, the watch page. So settings, and then you access the summary of health data. The sleep has been really not great. You can see the sleep on the Samsung here. So this is where I didn't track it last night because I was tracking everything versus the Polar Vantage V. So you can see it correctly got the times right here and here, but started in the middle of the night after I'd fallen asleep here. So out of 4 nights, it was missing the actual sleep. And I have found that the details for the sleep data on the Apple experience or the Apple apps themselves to be too much of a summary, too much of a details where you can dive into it. Good Lord, somewhere in here, but it's just a bunch of just generic information. And so now I have to rely on a 5th app, the Auto Sleep app. So this is a paid app, but this one is fantastic for analyzing the sleep, and this doesn't require you to set up the sleep in the Apple Watch. It just does it automatically, and it does a great job at assessing your sleep. So there's a summary of the apps. Let's go back for a final review.
So obviously we see that right out of the gate, the Samsung Galaxy Watch 3 has a better functional design for actual CrossFit or any intensity type training, because you can smack it against a barbell or a rack and it's going to take a little bit of beating because it's got a strong metal edge, as well as the Apple Watch 6. Obviously, I feel like I'm wearing just a piece of smooth glass on my wrist, which just feels less comfortable. When you're looking at it from what you get from in the workout and after the workout, the functional aspects, I really like the visible display of the Samsung Galaxy Watch 3. And I hate the visible display of the Apple Watch 6. Now, I hate the way it looks in a workout. I hate the way it looks after the workout on the workout review. But at the same time, the optical heart rate sensor is by far the best so far that I've tested, as we can see from the initial results. Functionally, the Samsung Galaxy Watch 3, obviously I'm beginning just to really like the format, the layout of the widgets and the apps, and the sort of simplicity and streamlined functionality. And I don't like the Apple Watch 6 as far as like you basically have your different data aspects, on the watch face itself, and then you got 8,000 apps in a small little condensed screen. So that to me doesn't feel functionally useful or as useful for sort of bouncing through a bunch of information page by page. You have to dive in at a deeper level. How they function as smartwatches. Now, as I use it, obviously, they're both seem to be as functional as I could ever possibly want. The Apple Watch 6 obviously has a greater breadth, especially if you're an iPhone user. But in simple terms, the optical heart rate sensor is coming out on top on the Apple Watch 6, but the functional use and enjoyment of the watch in just day-to-day and usefulness in a workout as far as the design is coming out better on the Samsung Galaxy Watch 3. So stay tuned for the full review in about a week from now. And as always, thanks for watching.